The Great Galactic Council, comprising representatives from the most advanced alien civilizations in the known universe, had long viewed humanity with a mixture of condescension and indifference. In their eyes, the human race was little more than a primitive, technologically backward species, unworthy of a seat at the prestigious interstellar governing body. For centuries, the Council had dismissed human achievements, arguing that the humans' limited grasp of science and technology posed no real threat to the galactic order. Their crude weapons, powered by volatile chemical explosions, were seen as quaint relics of a bygone era, easily outmatched by the sleek, energy-based armaments wielded by the more evolved alien races. Humanity's repeated requests for formal inclusion in the Council were met with barely concealed sneers and laughter. What could these barbaric apes possibly contribute? The alien ambassadors would scoff, their faces distorted by expressions of disdain. Their so-called advancements are nothing more than primitive tinkerings, unworthy of our time and attention. Frustrated by their exclusion and the condescending attitudes of the Galactic Council, the human governments began to invest heavily in the development of new, more powerful weapons. Driven by a growing sense of resentment and a desire to prove their worth, the scientists and engineers of Earth toiled tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of their technological capabilities. As the years passed, the humans' arsenal began to evolve, moving beyond the simple gunpowder-based firearms and explosives that had long been the hallmark of their military might. Breakthroughs in the field of nuclear physics led to the creation of devastating atomic weapons, capable of unleashing unimaginable destruction upon their targets. Unaware of the rapid advancements taking place on the distant planet, the Galactic Council continued to dismiss humanity as a non-threat, secure in the knowledge that their own superior technology would easily overwhelm any attempt by the apes to challenge their dominance. It was not until a delegation of human ambassadors, accompanied by a small contingent of military advisors, arrived at the Council's grand, glittering headquarters that the true extent of humanity's technological prowess became apparent. The alien representatives, accustomed to the deferential behavior of previous human emissaries, were taken aback by the confident, even defiant, demeanor of the newcomers. Gone were the meek, apologetic tones. In their place, an unwavering determination and a barely concealed sense of pride. "We are here to demand our rightful place among the great civilizations of the galaxy," the lead human ambassador announced, his voice projecting a quiet, but unmistakable, authority. "For too long, our people have been dismissed and overlooked, our achievements belittled and disregarded. No more." The council members exchanged puzzled glances, unsure of how to respond to this unexpected display of assertiveness. Surely, these upstart humans could not be serious in their demands, not when the vast majority of the alien races represented in the council possessed weapons and technology far beyond the comprehension of such a primitive species. "You presume much, human," one of the council's elders scoffed, his eyes narrowing in disdain. "What makes you believe that you are worthy of joining our illustrious assembly? What do you have to offer that we cannot already acquire through our own superior means?" The human ambassador's lips curled into a faint, almost imperceptible smile. "Perhaps it is time we demonstrated the true extent of our capabilities," he replied, his tone calm and measured. "If the council is willing, we would be honored to showcase our latest advancements in the field of weaponry." The alien representatives exchanged a series of puzzled glances, their curiosity piqued despite their lingering skepticism. Surely, these humans could not have developed anything that could truly threaten the might of the Galactic Council's combined forces. Nodding in concession, the council members gestured for the humans to proceed with their demonstration. What happened next would forever shake the foundations of the Galactic Council and alter the course of galactic history. The human ambassador's lips curled into a faint, almost imperceptible smile as he gestured to his military advisors. Moments later, a team of technicians wheeled in a series of odd-looking devices, their metallic frames and blinking lights a stark contrast to the sleek, organic-looking technology that adorned the Galactic Council's grand chamber. The alien representatives exchanged puzzled glances, their curiosity piqued despite their lingering skepticism. Surely, these humans could not have developed anything that could truly threaten the might of the Galactic Council's combined forces. Honored members of the Galactic Council, the human ambassador began, his voice calm and measured. We are here to demonstrate the latest advancements in our weapons technology. I believe you will find them quite remarkable. With a nod, the human technicians began to activate the devices, their fingers dancing across the controls with a practiced precision. The air in the chamber crackled with anticipation as the alien delegates leaned forward in their seats, their eyes fixed on the unfolding spectacle. Suddenly, a deafening roar shook the very foundations of the Council's grand headquarters, accompanied by a blinding flash of light that momentarily blinded the alien observers. When their vision cleared, they were confronted with a scene of utter devastation. A gaping, smoldering crater where a towering structure had once stood, reduced to little more than a pile of rubble. Stunned silence fell over the Galactic Council as the members stared, wide-eyed and slack-jawed, at the smoking ruins. The human ambassador's smile widened, a gleam of triumph in his eyes. "As you can see," he said, his tone almost nonchalant, "our primitive weapons are capable of inflicting a level of destruction that even your most advanced technologies would struggle to match. This was merely a small demonstration of our capabilities. I can assure you, the full extent of our military might is far more impressive." The alien delegates sat in stunned silence, their expressions a mix of disbelief, fear, and dawning realization. For the first time in the Council's long history, the representatives of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations found themselves confronted with a power they could not easily dismiss or overcome. "Impossible," one of the elders finally managed to gasp, his voice trembling. How could these humans possess such devastating capabilities?" The human ambassador's gaze swept across the Council, his expression unreadable. "Perhaps it is time you reconsidered your stance on our inclusion in this esteemed body," he said, his tone deceptively mild. "We have much to offer the galactic community, but only if we are treated as equals, rather than as primitive, ape-like creatures to be mocked and ignored." The Council members exchanged uneasy glances, their confidence and sense of superiority shaken to the core. The realization that the humans had been hiding the true extent of their technological prowess, and that their so-called primitive weapons could inflict such catastrophic damage, sent shockwaves through the assembly. Slowly, haltingly, the Council members began to consider the implications of this startling revelation. If the humans were capable of such feats of destruction, what else might they be capable of? And what would happen if this newfound power were to be wielded against the Galactic Council itself? The human ambassador, sensing the growing unease among his alien counterparts, leaned back in his seat, a faint smile playing on his lips. "I trust we have your full attention now," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "The time has come for humanity to take its rightful place among the stars. We are no longer content to be dismissed and overlooked. The choice is yours. Welcome us as equals, or face the consequences of your continued arrogance and disregard." The Galactic Council, once so secure in its dominance, now found itself confronted with a dilemma of unprecedented magnitude. The future of the galactic order hung in the balance, and the fate of humanity would ultimately determine the course of events to come. The Galactic Council sat in stunned silence, their eyes fixed on the smoking ruins that had once been a towering spire within their grand headquarters. The human ambassador's demonstration had shaken the very foundations of their belief in the superiority of alien technology, leaving the gathered delegates grappling with a sense of unease and uncertainty. For centuries, the Council had dismissed humanity as a backwater species, their primitive weapons and technology unworthy of any serious consideration. But now, faced with the devastating power of the humans' new armaments, the alien representatives found themselves questioning the validity of their long-held prejudices. One by one, the Council members exchanged uneasy glances, their expressions a mix of disbelief and growing apprehension. The realization that these ape-like creatures had managed to develop such destructive capabilities threatened to upend the delicate balance of power that had long defined the galactic order. "This cannot be," one of the elders finally murmured, his voice barely audible above the eerie silence that had fallen over the chamber. "How is it possible that these humans these primitives, have managed to create such abominations The human ambassador's lips curled into a faint smile, his gaze sweeping across the assembled aliens. "Abominations, you say?" he replied, his tone laced with a subtle edge of mockery. "Perhaps you should consider the possibility that your own prejudices and dismissal of our capabilities have blinded you to the true extent of our technological prowess." The alien delegates shifted uncomfortably in their seats, their expressions a mix of consternation and barely concealed fear. The realization that the humans had been hiding the full scope of their military might send a chill through the Galactic Council, shattering the illusion of their own invincibility. "You dare to threaten us?" One of the younger council members spat, his eyes narrowed in anger. "We are the representatives of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. Our combined might could crush your pathetic species with ease." The human ambassador's smile widened, his eyes glinting with a hint of amusement. "And yet you've seen the power we wield," he countered, his voice calm and measured. "Do you truly believe that your advanced technology can withstand the devastating force of our weapons?" The council member faltered, his bravado crumbling in the face of the human's unwavering confidence. The realization that the humans had achieved a level of technological parity, if not outright superiority, in the realm of weapons left the alien delegates feeling vulnerable and exposed. "What is it that you want, human?" Another council member, an elder with a weathered, wizened face, spoke up, his tone laced with a hint of trepidation. "Why have you come before us, if not to issue demands or make threats?" The human ambassador leaned forward in his seat, his expression turning serious. "We are here to demand our rightful place among the great civilizations of this galaxy," he said, his voice ringing with a sense of conviction. "For too long, we have been dismissed and ignored, our achievements belittled and disregarded. No more." The council members exchanged uneasy glances, the weight of the human's words settling heavily upon them. The realization that these primitive humans were no longer content to be relegated to the sidelines of galactic affairs sent a ripple of unease through the assembly. "And if we refuse?" one of the council members ventured, his voice betraying a hint of uncertainty. The human ambassador's gaze hardened, and for a brief moment, the alien delegates caught a glimpse of the steely determination that lay beneath the human's seemingly calm exterior. "Then you will face the full force of our wrath," he replied, his words laced with a quiet but unmistakable threat. "The choice is yours, Galactic Council. Accept us as equals, or suffer the consequences of your continued arrogance and disregard." The tension in the chamber was palpable as the alien representatives grappled with the gravity of the humans' ultimatum. The future of the galactic order hung in the balance, and the fate of humanity would ultimately determine the course of events to come. The Galactic Council chamber was filled with an uneasy silence as the alien delegates grappled with the implications of the human ambassador's ultimatum. The devastating demonstration of human firepower had shaken the very foundations of their belief in the superiority of alien technology, leaving them feeling vulnerable and exposed. For centuries, the Council had dismissed humanity as a backward, insignificant species, their primitive weapons and technology unworthy of any serious consideration. But now, confronted with the undeniable power of the humans' new armaments, the alien representatives found themselves struggling to maintain their composure and their sense of control. One by one, the council members exchanged apprehensive glances, their expressions a mix of disbelief and growing trepidation. The realization that these ape-like creatures had managed to develop such destructive capabilities threatened to upend the delicate balance of power that had long defined the galactic order. "You cannot be serious," One of the younger council members finally spoke up, his voice trembling with a mixture of fear and indignation. "You expect us to simply accept your demands and welcome you as our equals? Preposterous." The human ambassador's gaze remained fixed and unwavering, his expression betraying no hint of emotion. "I assure you, we are quite serious," he replied, his tone calm and measured. "We have been content to sit on the sidelines for far too long, while your council has continued to dismiss and belittle our achievements. That era is over." The alien delegates shifted uncomfortably in their seats, their unease palpable. The realization that the humans had been hiding the full extent of their military might send a chill through the Galactic Council, shattering the illusion of their own invincibility. "And what if we refuse?" Another council member, an elder with a weathered, wizened face, asked, his voice trembling with a hint of trepidation. The human ambassador's lips curled into a faint, almost imperceptible smile. "Then you will face the full force of our wrath," he replied, his words laced with a quiet but unmistakable threat. "The choice is yours, Galactic Council. Accept us as equals, or suffer the consequences of your continued arrogance and disregard." The tension in the chamber was palpable as the alien representatives grappled with the gravity of the humans' ultimatum. The future of the galactic order hung in the balance, and the fate of humanity would ultimately determine the course of events to come. Slowly, the council members began to consider the implications of the humans' demands. If they were to refuse, it was clear that the humans would not hesitate to unleash the full destructive power of their weapons against the Galactic Council's forces. The thought of engaging in a direct confrontation with these primitives, who had somehow managed to achieve such technological parity, if not outright superiority, sent a chill down the spines of the alien delegates. "You must understand," one of the elder council members spoke up, his voice tinged with a hint of desperation, "the implications of what you are asking. The inclusion of your species would fundamentally alter the balance of power within the Galactic Council. The other civilizations would not take kindly to such a disruption." The human ambassador's gaze remained unwavering, his expression unreadable. "That is precisely the point," he replied, his words cutting through the tense silence like a razor's edge. "The time has come for the galactic community to embrace new perspectives and ideas, and that includes the contributions of humanity." The council members exchanged uneasy glances, the weight of the humans' words settling heavily upon them. The realization that these primitive humans were no longer content to be relegated to the sidelines of galactic affairs sent a ripple of unease through the assembly. "And if we agree to your demands?" another council member ventured, his voice betraying a hint of uncertainty. The human ambassador's expression softened, a faint glimmer of hope flickering in his eyes. "Then we shall work together to forge a new era of cooperation and mutual understanding," he replied, his tone measured and sincere. "The Galactic Council has much to gain by embracing the ingenuity and determination of the human race." The alien delegates fell silent, their faces etched with a mixture of apprehension and reluctant contemplation. The future of the galactic order hung in the balance, and the Galactic Council found itself faced with a decision that would forever shape the course of history. The Galactic Council chamber was filled with a tense, palpable silence as the alien delegates grappled with the gravity of the human ambassador's ultimatum. The devastating display of human firepower had shattered their long-held beliefs about the technological superiority of their civilizations, leaving them feeling vulnerable and uncertain. For the first time in their history, the council members found themselves confronted with the prospect of accepting a species they had once dismissed as primitive and insignificant. The realization that these ape-like creatures had managed to develop such destructive capabilities threatened to upend the delicate balance of power that had long defined the galactic order. As the minutes ticked by, the alien representatives exchanged uneasy glances, their expressions a mix of fear, consternation, and a reluctant acknowledgement of the humans' formidable might. The thought of engaging in a direct confrontation with these primitives, who had somehow managed to achieve such technological parity, if not outright superiority, sent a chill down the spines of the council members. Finally, one of the elder delegates, a venerable alien with a weathered, wizened face, spoke up, his voice trembling with a hint of trepidation. "You must understand the implications of what you are asking," he said, his gaze fixed on the human ambassador. "The inclusion of your species would fundamentally alter the balance of power within the Galactic Council. The other civilizations would not take kindly to such a disruption." The human ambassador's expression remained calm and measured, his eyes betraying no hint of emotion. "That is precisely the point," he replied, his words cutting through the tense silence like a razor's edge. "The time has come for the galactic community to embrace new perspectives and ideas, and that includes the contributions of humanity." The council members shifted uncomfortably in their seats, the weight of the humans' words settling heavily upon them. The realization that these primitive humans were no longer content to be relegated to the sidelines of galactic affairs sent a ripple of unease through the assembly. "And if we agree to your demands?" another council member ventured, his voice barely above a whisper. The human ambassador's expression softened, a faint glimmer of hope flickering in his eyes. "Then we shall work together to forge a new era of cooperation and mutual understanding," he replied, his tone measured and sincere. "The Galactic Council has much to gain by embracing the ingenuity and determination of the human race." The alien delegates fell silent, their faces etched with a mixture of apprehension and reluctant contemplation. The future of the galactic order hung in the balance, and the Galactic Council found itself faced with a decision that would forever shape the course of history. Slowly, the council members began to weigh the potential consequences of both accepting and rejecting the humans' demands. If they were to refuse, it was clear that the humans would not hesitate to unleash the full destructive power of their weapons against the Galactic Council's forces. The thought of engaging in such a conflict filled the alien delegates with a sense of dread and uncertainty. On the other hand, if they were to welcome the humans into the Galactic Council, it would undoubtedly upset the delicate balance of power that had long defined their interstellar community. The other civilizations, long accustomed to the Council's dominance, would almost certainly bristle at the prospect of sharing their influence with this newcomer species. The tension in the chamber was palpable as the council members debated the merits and risks of each course of action. Time seemed to slow to a crawl, as the fate of the galactic order hung in the balance. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the elder delegate who had spoken earlier rose from his seat, his weathered face etched with a grave expression. "We have deliberated, human," he announced, his voice carrying a note of resignation. "And we have decided to accept your demands." The human ambassador's lips curled into a faint, almost imperceptible smile, a glimmer of triumph flickering in his eyes. "Then we shall begin a new chapter in the history of the Galactic Council," he replied, his tone measured and formal. "One of cooperation, understanding, and the recognition of humanity's rightful place among the stars." As the alien delegates grappled with the weight of their decision, a sense of unease and trepidation hung in the air, the future of the galactic order now inextricably linked to the fate of the human race. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council echoed with the sound of solemn, almost reluctant, applause as the alien delegates acknowledged the human ambassador's victory. After much debate and soul-searching, the council had ultimately conceded to the humans' demands, accepting them as equals within the prestigious interstellar governing body. For the first time in the council's long and storied history, a new species had been granted full membership, shattering the illusion of the alien race's technological and cultural superiority. The human ambassador stood tall, his expression a mix of triumph and cautious optimism, as he surveyed the gathered delegates. "We are honored to join your ranks," the human said, his voice projecting a quiet confidence that belied the momentous nature of the occasion. "I can assure you that humanity will bring a wealth of knowledge, innovation, and determination to the Galactic Council. Together, we shall forge a new era of cooperation and shared prosperity." The alien delegates exchanged uneasy glances, their expressions a mixture of grudging acceptance and lingering resentment. The thought of having to share power and influence with these once dismissed primitives filled many of them with a sense of discomfort and unease. "We welcome you, human," one of the elder council members replied, his tone strained and formal. "But understand that the path ahead will not be an easy one. The other civilizations will not take kindly to the disruption of the existing order." The human ambassador's gaze remained steady, his expression unreadable. "We are prepared to face any challenges that may arise," he said, his words laced with a subtle hint of defiance. "Humanity has endured much adversity in our history, and we have always emerged stronger for it." The council members fell silent, their unease palpable. The realization that these once dismissed apes had now joined their ranks, with the potential to wield significant influence over the galactic community, sent a chill through the assembly. As the formal proceedings drew to a close, the human ambassador was escorted to a private conference room, where he was met by a small delegation of his fellow human representatives. The group exchanged hushed, excited whispers, their expressions a mix of triumph and cautious optimism. "We've done it," the lead human delegate murmured, a faint smile playing on his lips. "Humanity has finally secured its rightful place among the stars." The others nodded in agreement, their eyes shining with a newfound sense of purpose. "But the real work begins now," another delegate cautioned, his brow furrowed with a hint of concern. "We must tread carefully, lest we provoke the ire of the Galactic Council and its more established members." The human ambassador raised a hand, silencing the discussion. "Fear not," he said, his voice calm and reassuring. "We have the power to shape the future of the galaxy, and we will do so with wisdom and prudence. The days of humanity being dismissed and overlooked are over. Now we take our rightful place as the equals of these alien civilizations." The other delegates nodded, their expressions hardening with determination. They knew that the path ahead would not be an easy one, but the potential rewards were too great to ignore. With the devastating power of their weapons at their disposal, the humans were poised to exert a profound influence over the galactic community, forever altering the balance of power that had long defined the Galactic Council. As the group made their way back to the main chamber, the human ambassador couldn't help but feel a sense of exhilaration and anticipation. The future of the galaxy now lay in the hands of humanity, and they were determined to seize this opportunity with both hands. The news of humanity's inclusion in the Galactic Council spread like wildfire through the vast expanses of the known galaxy. Across countless alien civilizations, the reaction was a mix of shock, disbelief, and growing unease. For centuries, the other species had grown accustomed to the Galactic Council's dominance, its policies and decisions shaping the course of galactic affairs. The sudden emergence of this new, powerful player on the interstellar stage threatened to upend the delicate balance of power that had long defined the cosmic landscape. In the days that followed the historic announcement, the human delegates quickly set about establishing their presence and influence within the Council. They leveraged their formidable technological capabilities, including the devastating weapons they had demonstrated earlier, to cement their status as equals among the gathered alien representatives. The other council members, many of whom had spent decades, if not centuries, dismissing and belittling humanity, found themselves in the unfamiliar position of having to acknowledge the humans' prowess and acknowledge their contributions. It was a humbling, and in some cases, deeply unsettling experience. How is it possible that these primitives have managed to develop such powerful weapons? One of the alien delegates, a grizzled veteran of the Council, muttered to his colleagues during a recess. "Their technology rivals our own, and yet we have ignored them for so long." The other delegates exchanged uneasy glances, their expressions a mix of consternation and grudging respect. "They have changed the game, that much is certain," another council member replied, his voice tinged with a hint of trepidation. "We must tread carefully, lest we provoke their ire." As the human delegates continued to assert their influence, the alien civilizations found themselves increasingly unnerved by the prospect of this new power dynamic. The thought of having to answer to these once dismissed apes was a bitter pill to swallow, and tensions began to simmer beneath the surface of the Galactic Council's deliberations. Sensing the growing unease among their alien counterparts, the human ambassadors adopted a cautious, yet confident, approach. They recognized the need to tread carefully, lest they antagonize the more established civilizations and risk plunging the galaxy into a potentially devastating conflict. "We are here to work alongside you, not to impose our will," the lead human delegate, the same ambassador who had issued the ultimatum, assured the other council members during a private meeting. "Our goal is to forge a new era of cooperation and shared prosperity, one that benefits all the peoples of the galaxy." The alien delegates listened with a mixture of skepticism and reluctant acknowledgement. They could not deny the power and influence that the humans now wielded, nor could they ignore the potential benefits of embracing this newfound partnership. But the thought of relinquishing their long-held dominance over the galactic order was a difficult pill to swallow. As the tensions continued to simmer, the human delegates began to take a more proactive approach, leveraging their technological prowess to assert their presence and influence. They offered to share their advancements in fields ranging from energy production to medical research, demonstrating the immense value that humanity could bring to the galactic community. Slowly, but surely, the other council members began to recognize the merits of this newfound alliance. The prospect of gaining access to the humans' scientific and technological breakthroughs, not to mention the deterrent effect of their formidable weapons, started to outweigh the unease and resentment that had initially characterized the alien delegates' attitudes. The Galactic Council, once a bastion of alien supremacy, now found itself in the midst of a profound transformation, with humanity emerging as a powerful and influential player in the cosmic landscape. The future of the galaxy hung in the balance as the human delegates worked to cement their place within the prestigious interstellar governing body. As the years passed, the human delegates steadily solidified their influence within the Galactic Council, leveraging their technological prowess and the sheer destructive power of their weapons to command the respect and deference of their alien counterparts. The once dominant alien civilizations found themselves increasingly reliant on the human scientific and military expertise, a fact that did not sit well with many of the Council's more established members. Resentment and unease simmered beneath the surface of the deliberations as the balance of power within the prestigious interstellar governing body continued to shift. The human ambassador who had first issued the ultimatum to the Galactic Council rose to become a respected, and even feared, figure among the gathered delegates. His unwavering determination and willingness to wield humanity's formidable technological might had earned him a reputation as an unyielding advocate for his species' interests. The humans have become a force to be reckoned with. One of the elder council members, a grizzled veteran of countless galactic negotiations, murmured to his colleagues during a recess. "Their leader commands respect and fear in equal measure." The other delegates nodded solemnly, their expressions a mix of grudging admiration and unease. The realization that these once dismissed primitives now held the power to sway the course of galactic affairs had fundamentally altered their perception of the human race. As the human delegates' influence continued to grow, the Galactic Council found itself increasingly shaped by his vision and priorities. The humans' demands for greater autonomy, resource allocation, and technological development were met with a combination of resignation and begrudging acceptance by the alien representatives. In the face of this mounting pressure, the other council members began to quietly forge alliances and explore ways to counter the human delegates' growing power. Whispers of discontent and resentment echoed through the grand chambers as the delicate balance of the galactic order teetered on the edge of upheaval. The human ambassador, ever attuned to the shifting sands of political intrigue, recognized the need to consolidate his position and ensure the long-term security of humanity's interests. With a deft hand and a shrewd understanding of the alien delegates' motivations, he set about cultivating strategic partnerships and building coalitions that would solidify his influence within the Galactic Council. As the tensions within the assembly reached a boiling point, the human ambassador took a bold and decisive step. Convening a private meeting with the most influential alien delegates, he presented a proposal that would forever alter the course of galactic history. Honored members of the Galactic Council, the human delegate began, his voice measured and authoritative. I believe the time has come for us to consider a new arrangement, one that would cement humanity's rightful place as the leaders of this august body. The alien delegates exchanged uneasy glances, their apprehension palpable. The thought of ceding their long-held dominance to these once dismissed apes was a bitter pill to swallow, and yet the humans' proposal seemed to offer a path forward that would secure the stability and prosperity of the galactic community. After much deliberation and heated debate, the Galactic Council reached a historic agreement. Humanity would assume the mantle of leadership, with the human ambassador taking on the role of the Council's new chairman. The other alien civilizations would maintain their representation and influence, but would now be subject to the guidance and oversight of their human counterparts. As the news of this momentous decision spread through the galaxy, the reaction was a mix of shock, awe, and a sense of cautious optimism. The once dominant alien races found themselves in the unfamiliar position of deferring to the humans, a reversal of fortunes that would have been unimaginable just a few short years ago. For the human race, this was a triumph of epic proportions, a vindication of their technological prowess, their determination, and their rightful place among the stars. The future of the galaxy now lay firmly in their hands, and they were determined to wield this power with wisdom and purpose, forever shaping the course of interstellar history.